There are more cyclists on Australian roads than ever before. That means less pollution and a healthier population. But far too often there's a terrible price to pay.
So about 7:30 in the morning, clear sunshine, only a few minutes away from work, and a driver did not slow down and check at a give way sign. He just rolled straight through and he hit me. I got a concussion from hitting my helmet on the road and had to go to hospital and get diagnosed. For 5 seconds of the guy's life that hit me, if he'd just slowed down, it cost me 2 months and more of my life to get back to normal.
In the battle between car and bike, the cyclist nearly always loses. Last year, 35 cyclists were killed on Australia's roads and thousands more were injured. Cycling groups say the problem has reached a crisis point.
Over the past 5 years, the cycling community has been badly failed. Either we change the culture or people continue to die.
Yes, there are individuals, there are a minority that create trouble on the road, and they come from all sorts of road user groups, but that doesn't reflect the majority.
Most states have laws requiring cars to keep at least a metre away from cyclists. One state has resisted.
We need drivers to slow and give at least this much space in speed zones up to 60.
Victoria rejected minimum passing distance laws, opting instead for an awareness campaign.
This much in zones over 60.
I think the Victorian government's decision was a poor one and they should reconsider it. It's especially difficult not to have national consistency on this.
The state's refusal to follow suit was in part based on fears the law could cause traffic chaos. Queensland's peak motoring group now backs the law, but initially shared Victoria's concerns.
We were concerned that without adequate education, without drivers understanding the risks for cyclists, without them being aware of those safety issues, that you'd have to apply more work and put more effort in to getting that compliance.
Bicycle lobby groups suspect police themselves were amongst those who disliked the new regime. Cycling activist Cameron Frewer wrote an open letter last November, just days before he was fatally struck by a car, quoting a conversation he had with a police officer.
I am not going to slug a driver with a fine. I don't agree with the law.
How widespread do you think that attitude is amongst police?
It's endemic and it's also characteristic of the types of driving that we see. So drivers tend to feel the same way. We have not seen any direct action until very recently by the Queensland Police Service to support the enforcement of these laws.
No, that's not the case. It is a complicated law to approach. We have to prove every part of the offence beyond a reasonable doubt, and that is often difficult.
A fundamental problem is that even a minor infringement can have serious consequences for cyclists. Ron Hughes has lodged more than half a dozen complaints with Gold Coast Police over the past 2 years. Most of the time, he says they just don't want to know about it.
What did they say to you?
Well, what do you expect me to do? I can't see anything coming of this.
But the veteran cyclist concedes some police have responded well, leading to one successful $330 fine and one prosecution. This incident led to a fiery roadside exchange.
Taking up all the road! Single file.
Single file.
Listen, you're on
Single file. I've got 2 cameras.
You're on camera. You got
I know that.
How unusual is it to come across that sort of anger on the road?
It's fairly common.
Why do you think that is?
I think you'd have to ask some of the drivers. I can only guess.
Such incidents are rare, the RACQ argues, and most of the road use anger is blown out of proportion.
And it is often driven by social media sites where it is easy to make outrageous claims and inflammatory comments that don't in any way assist or improve the situation for cyclists. Most motorists give safe passing distances to cyclists and certainly make an effort to keep them safe.
We've seen largely a very good take-up of the safe passing laws, and people are trying to do the right thing, but of course we do see from time to time where people could do better.
There's no single fixed solution to improving cycling safety. All parties agree on the need for more dedicated and separate bike lanes, better roads and more road safety education. But cycling groups say stricter enforcement could save lives.
People blame cyclists that we're a menace on the road, but we're not the ones out there killing people. It's people hitting us.